Hello, everybody. My name is Carrynek, and I'm here, joined by Yachiro, by the Polite Boy, and by Authority itself. Because I've been having thoughts about Disco Elysium, and I can't quite put them together. I don't have the time nor I don't know, conviction to sit down and make the 100,000th video essay on YouTube about this game. So I'm just using this tier list to kinda talk to myself through all the characters I've interacted with in my 2.1 playthroughs of this game, as I have played the game twice already and I'm in the middle of a third time around through this. I will be ranking them based on mostly vibes. I'll be talking about writing at some point and just about my opinion on them as people at others. It's gonna be very, very loose. But yeah, it's probably not the best time to do this tier list right now because also let me increase the volume on the music a bit. It seems really quiet. I've only slept 3 hours last night, and that's probably not helping my brain. But we got some beer. There's that. That's gonna maybe help. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a good time. So let's jump into it, and hopefully I'll have it done by my usual Twitch stream, and I'll upload it so I can use this on Sunday in lieu of an actual live stream, as I will be busy during that time. Alright, let's get started with Idiot Doom Spiral. Tiers here are in a marriage, buddy boy, non-gendered, anyone can be a buddy boy. Complicated, for those I have complex feelings about as a person, but this one is the loosest tier of all. We'll discuss it when we get to someone in that tier, and I see someone who's gonna go into it very soon. As Alan. But yeah. I'm sorry is for the people in this city that I just feel bad for, who don't really have control over their situations and have ended in bad positions in life due to their circumstances and not their own choices a lot of the time. Tiny is for, I'm gonna let you guess. Civilians are those I don't really have much to say about, but I still wanna have on the list. Don't like is for people I don't like, and die is for we'll get there. Anyway, Idiot Doom Spiral, I think he is fun as a gag, and in my second playthrough as a hustle grinder, I did have him build me a monument for my high net worth, which was a pretty funny side thing. But honestly, I don't think I like him. I think he is one of the few characters in this game who, I don't know how to put it, but he just doesn't really feel like a real person. He's just more of a joke. And I understand the joke, and I think it's funny. I like that he is there, but I don't think I like him as a person, nor do I think he was as good as it could have been. So he's gonna be our first don't like. Next is don't call Abigail. Don't call Abigail doesn't really have much going on. He seems like he would be another gag character, just like Idiot Doomspiral, and he is. There is something about this man, about seeing a drunk who's got nothing besides the pipe that he sleeps in, just unable to even speak any kind of words besides reflecting on some possibly traumatic memory of possibly a loved one or whoever Abigail might be. But I think the point to him is that we don't know who Abigail is, and we're never gonna find out because it's not our story. It's his, and sadly, it's a story that will most likely not have a happy ending. So I think Don't Call Abigail fits best in the I'm sorry tier. Next is Estelle. She is someone I yelled at and made curl into a ball. She's I think a child. She could be a young adult, but I feel like she might just be a young teenager who ran away from home, so she could go into the tiny category. She could go into the I'm sorry category. But she was one of the few people who gave us therapy. So she's going into Buddy Boy. She's a real buddy who I gave my hat to both times I played this game, and I intend to give her the hat every time. Because she's in a rough situation out there on the ice, and in her life in general, having had to abandon home and live with the speed freaks, who are not bad people, but they don't treat her the best. So yeah, I think Estelle is a good fit for Buddy Boy. Now, Alon, he is complicated because he doesn't get the most screen time. I would not call him a character who is a favorite or someone I particularly dislike. But he's out of the Hardy Boys. He's a possibly trained killer. I think it is confirmed in the game itself that he served before, and he's the rough one. He backs Titus, but in a way where he's not really making fun of you as much as the others. He's mostly threatening you. This man wants to hurt you, but it's not in a purely violent way, like the same way Laylee's people want to hurt you. And I think there's a lot to his story, and he's dedicated to protecting the Union and the people of Marnez, but he's he's still a piece of shit. That's the point. That's why, for me, out of the Hardy Boys, I think he's the one who's gonna go into complicated. We might have others as well. Actually, yes, there are others who go into complicated. I don't remember her name. What was it? Alice. That's right. Alice, I have not interacted with much, sadly, besides telling her to make calls for me. I'll try to interact with her more in my third playthrough. But for now, she's going to need to spend more time with. Because I assume you can have more conversations with her and learn more about her. But as for now, she's only been a radio operator for me. Do we want to skip all the speed freaks together? Just do them all three of them at once? Or how do we want to do this? Yeah, I think we want to do all the speed freaks at once. And no, I won't call them anything else. Where's Noid? Noid, buddy boy, where are you? Oh yeah, we're gonna take Sana too, since she's also involved in the church. Noid. And where's the crab? Crab. Alright, well, for Andre, I think Andre is going into... Nah, he's not that complicated. I think he goes into Body Boy. I think he's not really a bad guy, and yes, I know he wants to set up a fucking lab to sell speed, but who among us hasn't, right? We are Tequila Sunset in this game. We have done more speed than this child has ever even seen in his entire teenage life. And he's very respectful. Like, he most likely doesn't mean it, but he is respectful to authority in the way where you can tell he comes from a pretty good family who actually educated him on manners and etiquette, and he's pretty smart for his position in life and what he does. And I feel he's pretty good at being a manipulator as well, with the way he tries to get you to evict the church people. He could go into complicated because he did just leave them in the church to starve, possibly, but he wasn't really thinking that much. He didn't have any ill intent. He just wanted to get stuff done. Egghead, he goes to the top of Buddy Boy. Egghead is the centerpiece of the entire church arc, and he's my buddy. He's my pal. He is in tune with the universe. He's a prophet of the pale. And he is one in the complete separate direction from where we are. I think he's also got a connection to the city, and I think he also feels the shivers, but just in a more positive way than a 50-year-old alcoholic with depression. And for that reason, I really like Egghead. Noid annoys me. He annoys me. I'm sorry. But he's also a smart guy, and I think he's going to complicate it because I don't like Noid as a guy, but I like Noid as a character. So I think we're gonna bring Noid here. I don't really have much to say about him. He reminds me of what's his face, and they don't even look the same, but like let me look up this guy's name. Darren Malakian from System of a Down. I don't know why, but he seems to be that guy in his trio. So I guess Andre would be the Serge, and Egghead would be the one nobody remembers. The Crabman. The Crabman is someone I wish had more screen time, but I understand why he didn't. He's meant to be an enigma. He's got a mysterious past with drugs, crime, and alleged murder that we just kind of let slide as he crawled up into the church. So yeah, I don't really have that much to say about him, but he's very thoughtful, regardless of my my views on his kind of belief, which is, as the game lets you accuse him, that he replaced one drug for another by becoming such a devout follower of his faith. So yeah, there's not really that much to say about the Crabman. Now, this could be a complicated one. Do we want to put Sona in the complicated tier? You know what? I don't think she's complicated. Oh, sorry, that's not what I meant. No, actually, you know what? I dropped that there by accident, but I think Sona. I was gonna put her in Buddy Boy because she was nice to us, but I think Sona does go into the I'm sorry tier because she was also a victim of circumstance. She lost her livelihood, her game studio, and now just obsesses over her research in an abandoned church. And I just really hope her life improved after we turned the church into a club. Annette, she's tiny. She's my favorite. She's my son. She gave me a Dick Mullen hat, and I saved her from the cold. In my first playthrough, I traumatized her by talking about my ex-wife. And she was just confused and on the verge of tears. But I just have a soft spot for tiny dudes, as you can probably see with the thing on my head. But yeah, Ned is just a bright little guy, and I think she deserves the best. You don't have a name, and I don't like you, but I'm gonna put you on civilian. But you should go, and I don't like. Now, which one of these is which? Because I don't know these guys. No, wait, I do know them. Thorson is the guy with the torso. He's the white one. That's how I remember them. So this is Chester. Chester and Thorson. What was the name of the other guys? Not in Disco Elysium, but it's been a while since I watched it. What were the two fuck ups in The Wire? I don't remember either of their names. And I don't even remember their names. Let me see. Pair of detective fuck ups. There we go. There. I love that I can just look up The Wire fuck ups, and they're just the first thing that pops up. It's Herc and what's the other one? Herc and Carve. Yeah, to me these two are just Herc and Carve from The Wire. They're just two detectives that do their job. They get paid for it. But they're not great, are they? And they're just general pieces of shit. So the two of them are going into complicated feelings. Because I think they're kind of funny, but fuck them both. There you go. We got Thorson. Also, I threatened to fuck Thorson's mom, and he got really upset, so there's that. Cindy the Skull. She is a moody teenager who wants to be a rebel, and who's very protective of her art. And I think she's going into Tiny. Because I do treat her like I would an adult in my playthroughs, but I do get the same protective feeling from her that I do from the other children in the game. She is just a little guy at heart, even though she's been toughened up by the world. And is out there just on her own, having joined a gang. Her life is probably gonna be much worse after the events of the game. I don't think she's one of the characters that makes it out better. I think her trajectory is gonna be a downwards one, but I understand where she's coming from. She's just a little guy who's got nothing but art in her life, and that's, a lot for someone who's on their own at a young age to deal with. Even though I think she's probably around 16, so there are people who can't make it on their own at that age, but it's still very early to have to deal with the situation that she's in. This fellow, I sadly do not even know his name. But he is just a chef, and I understand his point in game. He's there to show you that there are just lives that happen outside of your investigation, and he's got nothing to do with it, and he's just around. Let's get rid of the two children here, because what am I gonna say about them? They had a couple of funny lines when they started laughing at each other in the sand when you actually made him speak, but that's about all I can think about the two little boys. Well, we have them. Let's do Lily as well. Lily is lovely. She heals my morale, IRL, as well, not just in the game. The voice acting is on point. She's a sweet little guy. Mikhail also goes into Tiny because he's tiny. Not much to say about him. He doesn't really say much besides telling you that his father trains in martial arts a lot. This, I just saw him right now. I have not interacted with Gottlieb at all. So, I think you can contact Gottlieb after you pass out from the ledger. But I was fine, so I didn't contact him. And so I have never heard of Gottlieb outside of what Spirit the Corpse said. So I absolutely need more time with him. I've genuinely never heard him speak. Gear the crypto-fascist. It's between these. I'm leaning towards Die. Because he insulted Kim. Yeah, we're gonna kill him. He's fun. He's fun to bully. But fuck him. He's getting killed. Kuno S. I don't like her as a creature. But she goes into I'm sorry. Kuno S is a horrible influence on Kuno. And when you manage to pry him away from her, you're pretty much saving his life, but she's just a kid, 10, 11-year-old in the woods, just trying to cling on to anything to get as close to a normal life and to a relationship with another human being as she can. Kuno S is one of the characters I really wish we got more context for. We don't have to be able to help her. I understand that not everyone can be helped. That's the main theme of the game, but I wish we could have at least found some records of some kind about her people, or the events that unfolded with the implied murder she committed. Like if someone went missing around that area. Or if it was just big talk from a little girl who's scared and needs some reputation to feel like she's blanketing herself with it. Like perhaps she found a corpse, stumbled upon it, and decided to claim it as her own, to put on a facade to be tough and to scare off any possible danger. Kuno would go into Tiny or I'm sorry, but he's going into Buddy Boy because he, in my second playthrough, was my partner at the end of the game, and he completely saved my ass. He is a... I feel like a lot has been said by everyone about Kuno, but he's just a kid. I know I keep saying this about all of them because, you know, it's the same with Cindy. And I was hovering over his image while I was talking about Cindy being on her own and having nothing but her art. But Kuno was doing even worse than Cindy because he doesn't have his art and he doesn't have a whole gang who respects him. He just is seen by everyone as an annoyance and a nuisance. So of course he lashes out and rages and uses drugs the way he saw his father numb himself. Kuno is a creature not unlike many of the others in this forgotten corner of the world, but he's one that I believe can get better whether or not you end up making him a junior officer. He's a good kid. And I just hope after the events of the game he stayed off drugs and just got better. DePaul, you're gonna fucking die. I don't like. I don't remember his first name. His last name is Ljuljanovic. I both don't like him as a person, obviously. If you like him as a person, you have something wrong with you. And I'm not sorry to say. But as a character as well, he's not really a person, he's more a metaphor or a force of nature. And the mystery part of the story kind of gets invalidated by having someone you never even met be the culprit. It just kind of ruins the entire search, as satisfying as it is to find someone with no real hint that they even exist at first, just based on detection or Classier's help with the direction of the bullet if you let her escape. Now, oh, this is I have to think about this one actually, because okay, we gotta make a choice here. I can't really spend the entire day just I'm not gonna put her in marriage. I cannot. She's fantastic, but Canada. No, I feel like Nia doesn't go into marriage. Nia is a body boy. She's fantastic. I love Nia. I love her voice. I love her low optimism, like her realistic view on life, but with the hope that, God doesn't care, but we can still make the best of this. And she's a character I will never not go speak to in any future playthroughs, because even though she is completely avoidable, if you wanna finish the game, like, you don't need to speak to her at all. She's just great to be around and discuss the insane situation with the Doom commercial area, and then tell her about the pail. She's great about that. Okay, this is, let me see, I don't remember all the names of the Hardy Boys. This is Eugene, right? Eugene, I think, goes into complicated because he's an asshole and he's a sexist, but no, he's not a sexist. He's I think Eugene is a buddy boy, even though he told me to kill myself. He's a cool guy. He's loyal. He protects the people of Martinez. He really cares about the pigs. The community is better for having him. Everett Clare. We don't have a tier for fuck you, but you get to live. I would have to put him in die. Because I like him, but I don't consider him a buddy boy. But I do think with how funny he is. Nah, let's go into the top of complicated. Alon, please. Because Everett Clare is one of the funniest characters in the entire game, and everything he says is so thinly veiled, and he could be a lot more subtle. But it's just the fact that he doesn't believe you have the mental capacity to understand his offers of bribery or threats or cooperation if he's not like very obvious with it, but without fully telling you what he means, so he still has plausible deniability in court. And I think he's really funny like that, but he is a horrible human being. So yeah, despite being a communist, I have to say fuck you, Mr. Clare. Angus goes top buddy boy. Angus is, we're not really ordering these. I don't care. Kuno stays at the top, but everyone else is not ordered. Angus is smart. He cares about the lorry driver. He's picked on by the entire crew and only protected by Titus, who treats him like a younger brother and encourages him and will tell you that he's all muscle. And as someone who was in the position like that with a younger relative, where I was like the one smacking others around for speaking to him in a way I didn't like. I understand the dynamic between Angus and Titus, and I really appreciate him. I want to protect Angus. I want to put him in Tiny. Angus is just a little guy and must be protected. And I felt so bad when I let him die. These three, they're going into civilian. We got, I think this is Piss Faggot, this is the Fred Girl, and this is Fuck the World. They don't really have much to them. They're just teenagers. Lazy is a buddy boy. She goes all the way to the top. Like I said, we're not ordering this, but Lazy goes to the top of buddy boy because she's not my buddy boy in game. She's not a Tequila Sunset's buddy, but she's smart and she works for the people. She's naive because she went to the quote-unquote civilized world and came back expecting her words to just be magic and fully disarm anyone who goes up against her, which was really to her detriment during the tribunal. I really wanted to just tell Lizzie to get out of there and let the actual combatants, do their thing. Whether we manage to talk it through or not, she should not have been there, but her courage, misguided or not, is commendable, and she's a true red-blooded socialist, and we love that for her. As easily, I would say, true pillar of the community one day, if she survives your playthrough. Gart, you know what, Gart, you get a buddy boy. We put Gart through a lot. He's a douchebag. He wants to be a macho man. He wants to be the cool guy. But he's not. But you can help him get the girl. You can be nice to him and make him feel a bit better about himself. I think Gart deserves to be a buddy boy. He's a nice young man. The old people, I don't remember their name. Actually, I do remember their name. It's Renee and what's the other guy? Let me find Renee on the list of people. Okay, found Renee and Gaston. That's it. Gaston goes and die because he did not share his sandwich with me. So that's about it. No, but Gaston is a buddy boy. There's not much to say about him, but he's just a jolly old man. He sees the best even in a, fascist. And you gotta admire him for it. You gotta take Renee, his buddy. Renee goes into complicated because he was a bad person. By all means, he was a bad human being. But he loved his his friend, regardless of how he treated him, and the fact that the last words he ever spoke to another human being was that back in the day he would have been shot without trial. He still had a lot, of depth to him as a person, because even the worst people can still have a glimmer of something in their fucking cold dead heart. Speaking of the worst people, let's put Measurehead in here. We don't need to discuss Measurehead. I think we can all agree that he's quite literally, and I do use the word in the proper context, he is literally this world's version of a Nazi, so fuck him. I tried to snap my fingers in her face, and Kim didn't let me. But apparently you can discuss more with her, so I need to spend more time with her. I'm gonna try to speak to this woman in my third playthrough. I didn't even know her name. Alright. You go into complicated? What was this one's name? Glenn, right. Glenn is the one who Titus sees as a brother. So I don't remember him being too mean. He mostly kept to he kept to backing Titus. That's what I'm trying to say, but don't have the words to. He didn't do anything too bad. He didn't tell us to just put a gun in our mouth. I don't think he did, at least. He was just an alright fellow. And while we're at it, let's finish with the Hardy Boys. Let's see. Where is Theo? Is Theo not on this list? Or am I just missing him? Yeah, Theo isn't on the list. That's weird. We got Salami Guy, but not Theo. Also, Salami Guy goes to Civilian, but he goes to top of Civilian because he's fantastic. He gave us his buddy Salami. And that's not even a euphemism. He let us eat with him. And even Kim indulged. This is another Civilian. There's not really anything to him. Sylvie, she put up with a lot, but she's also going into Civilian. This douchebag goes into I don't like him because he's a politician and he's dating my future ex-boyfriend, who also he just didn't answer any questions. My future ex-boyfriend is going into Buddy Boy. Let's just stop even trying to arrange them. But yeah, my future ex-boyfriend goes in there because he's witty, he's funny, he's slightly mysterious. He's a twink. He's everything I want in a man. Well, not quite everything. That's why I'm not asking for his hand in marriage. But he's everything I want in a Sunday friend. Lily. Lily is very complicated because He's less a person, more a concept. Lily is Ambrose Cousteau's inner thoughts and the fears, and he was also an absolute horrible human being in life. But he was the best of the worst. The military tribunal does tell you that he would have spared, quote unquote, most of the people accused of murder, and at most maybe killed one to make a show of it, which still horrible, but not the worst. Vicmare, you're a body boy. Vicmare, you go to the top of body boy. You know, Vicmare is a man who suffers from severe depression and doesn't even hide it. He tries his best. He admits to being a fuck up. He does what he can to use his experience as a fuck up to at least, even though he's not doing a good job with it, because the guilt doesn't actually help people, but he's trying to guilt Harry into being like, look, I'm just as much of a fuck up as you are. You need to get it together, man. You need to sort all of this out, because it's hurting the entire station, and we need you. And if I can pull through this, you should be able to as well, because I'm not that cultured and I'm not fully aware of the fact that everyone's experience is different, and so your problems might be more severe than my own, or be less severe but in a different way. And I'm just doing what my impulses tell me it's the best way to take care of my partner. And even though I'm not qualified to, I'm still doing my best. So yeah, we don't have that much screen time with him, but I do kind of like relate to Vicmare. Joyce goes in the body boy. She's also somewhat complicated, just like Evrat, but she admits to her role in the pecking order, and to being a bad person for participating in capitalism and feeding the dream eating machine, so to speak. She's afraid of the end to come, as she's smart enough to understand the expansion of the Pale, and just wishes for a better life for her daughters in the future. But I think she knows there's a possibility they won't have that, and she's very patient talking to us about reality when it doesn't benefit her in any way, either for her own sake or her corporate overlords, to take that time to speak to the officer about that instead of things that might help their cause. And so I forgive Joyce for what she is. That being something You can actually say to her in game. Alright, I don't remember your name, I'm gonna look it up right now, but you are... I think we gotta spend more time with you. I wish you had more screen time, because we speak to you, I think, once when we call to report our badge missing. But, and I'm scrolling right now to find his name. Is it Jules? Yes, it is Jules. Jules is very funny because he's got that dry sense of humor where he's just completely disinterested, but will also, like, quietly mock you, even though you are his superior. He calls you sir and then is like, don't really care, you don't really have any authority of me. And I think he's fun, but I wish he had more screen time, or maybe that he showed up at some point. But I don't think he could have actually showed up. Like, I don't think he had any reason to be around. Grandma. Grandma is going into civilian. She made me feel all warm and fuzzy inside when she was being all nice to me on the phone, but there's really not much to her. I did discuss her life with her on the phone for as much as I could, but you know, there wasn't that much even that. Rich light bending guy, this is a buddy boy because I scammed him a bunch of times. He's another kind of a gag character like Idiot Doom Spiral, but he's a money printer, so I like him. Clasia, oh, Clasia I've been dreading, because she's absolutely not a body boy. And she could be complicated, but I think I don't like her as a person. And I know this is gonna be a hot take. I like her as a character. I think she's very, very well written. And I think she's only 28, so she still has time to grow if she survives. But she's thrown so many people under the bus. She's ruined so many lives. She's responsible for so many deaths. During the tribunal, during the scene in the caverns, during her time before the game, she has indirectly hurt a lot of people. And so I can't even put her in complicated, because there is not much about her as a person that I like. There's just things I understand, but there's none that I think I like. She's self-destructive. She is, in a way, Harrier Dubois if he was born in a different position. There are a lot of parallels to draw between the two. But yeah, she goes into I don't like you. Alright, the racist goes into die. He's a one-note loser. He's one of the most realistic characters in the game, because I feel like we all know this guy and we hate him and we want to punt him in the head. Hopefully you want to punt him in the head. If you don't, you should be punted with him. I don't like. Just generally, I don't like this guy. I'm not even gonna look at the wiki for his name. You can buy the blue bottle from him. That's about it. I don't like him because I know a lot of this guy in real life. Like, I know a lot of them, and they won't leave me alone. And they don't quite do anything for me to tell them to fuck off. But they're there when I'm trying to work, when I'm just going about my business in town, whenever. And they come up to me and they're like, do you wanna buy some? Do you wanna lend me $5? Do you wanna? How's your day been? Did you know that my mother-in-law is sick and she needs medicine? Okay, it's never been that last one, but it's always some with these people, and I just don't like him. Elena goes into Buddy Boy. I really liked saving her marriage. I got so enthusiastic when I saw the Phasmid the first time. Specifically so I could tell her about it, because I knew I had her address. And I was just very, very excited to be like, Lena, you weren't crazy. You didn't make it up. And she was just always so kind to us. She gave us the pen when we got even one question right during her interrogation to see how bad we are in the head in the first day in game. She's just a fantastic woman, and Morel is lucky to have her. And speaking of, Gary, what are you doing, Gary? Are you getting in danger, Gary? I said Gary. I made this about me. I'm sorry. But yeah, Gary is an absolute scumbag, and he does not deserve as good a friend as Morel, because Morel is just such an aloof, middle-aged old man. I would say old, yeah. I think they're both like in their late 60s maybe. So we can't really call that middle age or late middle age. He's just an aloof old man who's like excited about bugs, and he doesn't want Gary to get into trouble and cause dangerous situations for them. And he's dedicated to his craft. He's funny. He's got that accent. He's like the only Australian in the game. And nobody even addresses it. I like him. Pigs made me genuinely sad. And I'm sorry for Pigs. I'm glad Titus and the Union are taking care of her, because her events started out funny when we first met her, and I was like, oh god, we're cornered, we're gonna get shot, we're gonna get killed by some lady just screaming cop stuff at us. And then just it kept going, and it kept going, and it genuinely hurt to watch. Play Sons, we don't like Play Sons. Book Peddler, you go into I don't like you because you mistreat your daughter. It is implied that she's highly uneducated and trying to be part of high society and become a hustler grinder because her husband is rich and basically got her as a trophy wife and tried to school her, but in a way that was just, no, you gotta figure out how to do business because I know how to do it, so you just Just figure it out. It's not hard. When you have zero experience, just run this store for me. Just run this bookshop. Go on, woman. Sort it out. And he told her all about work ethic and all the stuff that people born into money tell to people who actually work. And being married to that for so many years and raising a daughter, she just got into the mindset that that is how you have to go about life. But that doesn't excuse what she's putting a little kid through. So she goes into don't like. This guy, rude. He goes into die. He's the coolest of the three, but he's still a piece of shit. So he's just a force of nature more than a person. He's just death itself, and I feel like he just doesn't even care about Lily. He's only there because he wanted to kill something. He wants things to be dead around him, and that's the kind of person you don't want around. I know, very deep commentary that you don't want sociopathic killers around you, but like, he's just such an extreme, and with the few minutes of screen time that he has, he makes such an impression. Alright, who do we want to go for next? Do we want to go with Hiddleston? Yeah, let's pick Hiddleston. Trent Hiddleston goes to Double Buddy Boy. He's the coolest guy in the game, and the game even acknowledges that and is like, yeah, he wants to be a loser, but he's so cool. He's a caricature. Like, we made a caricature of the coolest guy you could possibly know. He's smart. He knows about computers. He's raising his son well. He knows about linguistics and psychology and psychiatry. And he does karate. And he knows history. And I feel like you're supposed to hate him. I feel like the devs intended for the average player to hate him. But I just think he's fun to listen to. I have listened to his entire thing about the felt building both times I played. I didn't skip through, because I know most people think he's boring, but I liked listening to the history of the building. The working woman, she's going into I'm sorry. Her story started out fun with the way we pushed her around with, do you want me to find your husband? Do you need me to find your husband? I feel like I should find your husband. Only to be told no. Piss off, you cockatoo. And then having to break the news to her was rough, and it was a real moment in the game, and I don't know how to put it, but I didn't enjoy that I had to do it, but I enjoyed the fact that it existed in the game. I really appreciate that they put a small side activity like that in the game, just to remind you of the fragility of life, and that there are people just going about their business during your entire investigation, and to remember to love your people and to express that towards them, because you don't know when you or they can just be gone, and you're left with a bowl of soup waiting for them, hoping that they're warm in their jacket that you sewed the extra patching into, in case they stay outside too long, only for them to be someone you never get to care for again, to tell that you love them despite of their flaws or whatever they may have done, whatever they may be actively doing to themselves or situations they might be putting you into. It's just very, very raw, and I feel very sorry for her and her daughters, and I hope their life gets better. Alright, the washerwoman. She gave me her name in my second playthrough, but I don't remember it. She's a body boy because she sticks up for the people. Like, she's sassy, she's smart, and she's no snitch. She's got shit locked down. She's never gonna sell out one of her tenants, and I love that about the washerwoman. Tommy Laham, he's a wife guy. We love a wife guy. Not much to say. He's a man with dreams. He's a man who misses his wife and his child. Just wants to be home with him. And I think that's wonderful. Call me mañana. I love the joke in his name. The double meaning of call me mañana. He seems aloof and not that intelligent, but everything he says has like this so much slyness. He speaks to you the way I feel Everett probably speaks to everyone else whom he respects enough to assume can understand subtlety. But yeah, Mañana just plays a role in his daily life, but I feel like he might be. Easy Leo says he's Mr. Everett's right hand when Lazy's not around, but I'm pretty sure that Mañana is the true right hand. Possibly even when Lazy is around. He's just way, way underground in it. Speaking of Easy Leo, he's just a little guy. He's happy to help everybody. He's cheerful. He loves Lazy. He loves his wife. We love Easy Leo. Even though a lot of people I've seen, even in my own chat when playing this game, hate him because he doesn't rhyme. But he's just a fun little guy. Sealeg is also fun, but he's going into civilian, I think. No, I don't think he fits with the civilian group. I think he's going into need to spend more time with. I have talked to Sealeg as much as I could, but I just wish he had more screen time because Sealeg is fun. He was just a fun character. Ruby goes into complicated because she has done a lot of illegal stuff, like pushing drugs and helping cover up the murder of Lily and leaving the rest of the Hardys to deal with the fallout. And she's just a complicated person. So I think that's the best place to put her. She doesn't have anywhere else to go. By the end, she's got nothing left to lose when she feels that both Classy and the Hardys betrayed her. And she's ready to go out but not hurt others too bad. Like she's using the pale emitter to stop you, but she has enough of a heart to slowly keep turning it down lower and lower until it's somewhat bearable when she sees you and Kim suffer. So for that, I think she goes into complicated. Roy goes into civilian. Roy does his job. He's got an interesting backstory, but there is not that much to him. I think he's got wonderful hair. Alright, now we're down to the last bit. Lillian, you're a woman after my own heart. You're going to hand in marriage. And I wish I got to know you better. And that you'd given me a second date. But I respect that you do not wish to do so. I will just pine for you from afar. You're a strong lady. You're independent. You're funny. And you appreciate someone who is, like myself, goofy. I love women who are like, she let me smash because I'm goofy. It's the only way I get laid. I'm sorry. Judith is also going into please marry me because, well, I did say it early to Vic Mayer, so I feel like they might have something. But Judith couldn't fix me, which would stop me from getting worse. We love the horse-faced woman. She's someone in the precinct that you can respect and who is still at a point in life where she cares and wants to do good. Alright, let's get you out of the way. I waited for him to be at the end because I want to just express myself about this guy. For not only being a racist, a killer, and sociopath, but also being a scab and a fake one at that. I need you guys to understand that if Courtier was dying, I would give him CPR and I would revive him. And I would watch him start breathing again, and I would wait for him to open his eyes and gently caress his white hair as he lays there, regaining consciousness. And as soon as his eyes are open and he starts to notice what's happening, I would wrap my hands around his throat and I would choke the life out of him while smiling. I want to be the last thing that this piece of shit sees before he goes to hell. I want Cordy to suffer and to know that the person who killed him took as much joy in it as he could. Fuck you, Cordy. Fuck everything you stand for. Die in a hole. Titus Hardy goes double body boy. Titus is a true friend to everybody in the Hardy Boys. He takes care of all of them. He keeps Theo under control. I really wish Theo was here. We're gonna talk about Theo at the same time as Titus. He keeps Theo in control when he reaches for the gun. He doesn't want anyone to get hurt. He's very much a peacock. And he uses his size and strength to boss everyone around and take control of situations, but not throw his weight around pointlessly. He does it for the people of Martinez because he cares about his community. He cares about his brother and his brothers in arms, and I just think that's the mark of a good man, regardless of his flaws and what he does on the side and what he allows by knowingly letting Ruby deal drugs and working for Everett and all that. I really think Titus could have also been a third endgame option for who your partner is if Kim gets shot, aside from Kuno. Like, I could absolutely see Titus coming with you to the islets. He's a good guy. Kim Kitsuragi. He goes to top of marry me. Kim could fix me. There's not much I can say about him that hasn't been said 1,000 times because everyone loves Kim, but he sees the best in people, and he's not a pushover. He stands up for himself, like with a dumbass racist. But Kim, the Kimball Kitsuragi, is a friend anyone would be lucky to have in their life, because as the Spirit of the Corpse says the first time you meet him, if the entire world was to end, Kim would be the first to jump and protect you, even if it was fruitless, just to give you that one extra second of life before the end. And I love him for that. Now, for Harrier Dubois, Tequila Sunset, Firewater, Ambrosius Cousteau. This is the one character we actually won't rank. And because I feel like we're too volatile. Harrier can be so many things in this game, depending on your own choices as a player. And obviously, for my choices, you would be a buddy boy. But with the choices with the choices others made for him, I could see other playthroughs of Harry where I would put him in Die, or playthroughs of Tequila Sunset where I would put him in I'm Sorry, or complicated. So, I think Harrier, Dubois, Ambrosius, Cousteau, Tequila, Sunset, the third, the first, and the second has to stay completely outside this reality. So yeah, I think this is our final list. We got 3 people in hand in marriage. I know probably nobody else saw horse-faced woman, Judith Minot, and thought, yeah, she can fix me. But like I said, it's not a she can fix me, it's a she can keep me on track. She can keep me from getting worse. She's just kind but not weak. And I like that. We got how many body boys do we have? 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 22. Okay, 22 body boys. 9 complicated. Alright. It's 25. 34, 30. 9, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73. Okay, so we got 73 characters, 22 of them are body boy. I fully expected to have a much more skewed list where I would have all these people into body boy, so I'm glad I talked myself out of that by just using my brain. But yeah, as I said, I just had a lot of thoughts about this game and about its characters that I felt I just wanted to speak into the universe. So a tier list was the best way to get it accomplished. And I just wanted to do something, you know? And I woke up after 3 hours of sleep today, and I don't really have energy for doing much else, so sitting down and getting this was just something to keep me occupied. If you've made it this far into the video, thank you. I really appreciate you. If you haven't, you won't hear this, but I appreciate you nonetheless for even just checking it at all. If you've skipped to here to see the rankings, there's some context for a lot of the complicated and body boys, but hey, whatever. Yeah. I think I'm happy with the current list, and I might come back after a couple more playthroughs and look at my previous choices and placements and redo this and decide if I would change anything about it. But until then, I've been Carrynek. This has been Authority. That thing on my head has been Yachiro. That's been Polite Boy behind me. And I'll see you when I see you. Bye, chat.